So this first question is about targeting on Facebook, and it talks a little bit about um, what are some of the mistakes that somebody can make with regard to targeting. I've talked a lot about not just doing Facebook ads or not just doing Google AdWords, but the importance of making sure those things are targeted properly so that you can get the most out of them. And this is asking me, what are some of the mistakes I see, because they're working on their targeting and they want to make sure they avoid some pitfalls. So one of the biggest things I think you can make as far as a mistake in targeting is not making sure that your demographic is just people that live there. In both Google and Facebook, or Meta, I should really get better about referring to this as Meta. There is an option to choose whether you want to target people that are in that location currently, that live in that location, or have interest in that location. In the Google AdWords area, this is going to be in your settings. It's going to where you set up your geography that you want to cover. I think in the advanced tab, it gives you the ability to select whether it's people that are in this area or people that live in this area. Now, if you're a small business and you're trying to reach people that live in that area, you want to make sure you select the tag, and this goes for both Meta and Google. You want to select the tab of people that live in that area, not just people that are in that area, because you could live in an area where people commute into and they work there and then they leave. So depending on your product or service, if it's dependent upon people that live there, not just people that are commuting or visiting, you want to make sure you choose that so that you're only showing your message to people that are actually potential customers. Now, if your business happened to be somebody that, let's say, is a restaurant that actually wants to sell lunch to people that are commuting in and working in that area, or tourists that are coming in for a particular reason or whatever, you may choose people that are in the area, not people that live in the area. So there are options you can choose. Once you define your geography, you can choose whether you want to hit people that live in that area or people that are just visiting that area. And there's another option, people that are just interested in that area. So that might be something along the lines of, let's say that you had a hotel or something. If somebody was visiting, that it might be a point of interest or something that you offer, like a service or something like that, that you would want to, if somebody's planning a vacation to that area or something like that, you would want to get in front of them and maybe get on their plan of the activities they're going to do. That might be where you would select the option of if somebody's interested in the area, because if somebody's searching for things about that area, they might not be in the area and they may not live in the area, but you may very well want to put your message in front of them because you may want to make sure that your restaurant is on the list of places they want to try when they're in that area, or your activity is something that they would want to put on their list of things to do when they're in that area. So those are the three options that are available to you and why you might want to choose one versus another. Again, a mistake that I see that a lot of people make is they choose the wrong one, or they haven't chosen at all. They've let it sit where the default is, and maybe the default wasn't the appropriate selection for their business. So they're putting their messaging in front of a lot of people that aren't really relevant to what they're trying to accomplish. So there's a lot of little small things with regard to targeting that I think that you need to pay attention to, or you could end up wasting a lot of money. And I often hear the refrain from a lot of people, like, I've tried, Facebook or Instagram marketing, or I've tried AdWords and it didn't work for me. And I'm not saying this in any way to be disrespectful at all, because some people do a really good job with these things. But I often ask, like, without looking at how you set your campaigns up, it's impossible for me to know why it may not have worked for you. You really have to make sure they're set up properly. And small things like that could have a huge impact on how well your campaigns do, or how badly they do. You may think they're not working because Facebook doesn't work anymore, or Instagram doesn't work, when the reality is you just had it set up improperly. So please pay attention to those small details. That's a common mistake because it defaults to a certain setting, and that certain setting doesn't necessarily mean it's the best setting for what you're trying to accomplish with your ads. So make sure you pay attention to that. And I think, you're going to be avoiding one of the primary pitfalls I see when people are setting up targeting on either Meta, Facebook, Instagram, or Google.